Hey, 5th grade, Mr. Madsen here. Hey, I just wanted to let you know that I've created this quick guide for you for next year for entering middle school. And in this guide, you're going to find helpful things to navigate the waters of middle school. So I'll show you a quick preview, but I want you to spend some time with it to help prepare you for your journey next year. So the beginning, there's an introduction here, and I've designed this guide just for you, okay? And I wanted you to feel confident and ready about this next step in your education. I've got a short video here for you to watch, okay? So I want you to take a look at that.
So you're in middle school. Congrats! There's a lot to learn about middle school, and it will probably be way different from elementary. It's okay to feel nervous about starting middle school. It is a big change. But don't worry. Here are a few things you need to know as you start at your new school. First, in middle school, teachers expect you to be a lot more responsible. They're going to want you to remember your assignments and due dates all on your own. And you may have a different teacher for every class, and they all have their own rules and expectations for their classroom. You're definitely going to need a system of organization to keep track of all your assignments, due dates, papers to turn in, and to make notes about anything else you're going to need to remember. A planner and separate folders for each class can be really helpful. It's also important to ask for help if you don't understand something. Your teacher may not offer help unless you ask. In middle school, you might switch classes for every subject, follow a bell schedule, and have your own locker. It can be overwhelming at first to navigate your schedule, but take a deep breath. You will figure it out in a few days. Pretty soon, you'll be a pro at navigating your schedule and your school. Friend groups often change in middle school too, and that's okay. If you change classes, you probably won't be with the same people all day. You may grow farther from some friends as you develop different interests, and you'll grow closer to others over time. You'll have a chance to make lots of new friends too. Middle schools often plan fun things for students to do, like dances and rallies. You may even have a chance to participate in a school sport or club. Being involved in extracurricular activities can help you feel more comfortable at school. So talk with your parents or caregivers about what activities might be a good fit for you. At some point during middle school, your body will probably go through a big growth spurt. The biggest one since you were a baby, actually. Your body and brain are developing really fast during the middle school years, and sometimes all these changes can feel awkward. Your emotions might feel out of control, or you might even cry for no reason. This is all part of your body and brain growing to help you become an independent adult. Remember, these changes are normal and everyone will go through this. But it can also be helpful to talk to a parent, counselor, teacher, or other trusted adult about how you're feeling. Take a minute to answer this question. Who is an adult I can go to for help? The transition to middle school might feel like a lot to manage, but you can do it. Eating healthy, staying active, and getting enough sleep can really help. And a positive attitude is your most helpful tool in navigating these changes, so make sure to always have that with you. Oh, and also, don't forget to have fun.
All right, so the first topic to think about is organization. So, next year, you're going to have several teachers, okay? Not just one teacher, but several. And those teachers are going to have you remember things like your assignments, due dates, important papers. They're going to expect you to be responsible for those things, okay? And they may remind you, or they may expect you to create your own reminder system. So it's important that you know that. Also, each teacher may have different rules or expectations for their class. So you have to pay attention that first couple of days to learn what those are. And often teachers have a syllabus that they give you explaining those details. Okay? If you haven't thought of it yet, a system to organize yourself is a great idea. This way you can have someplace to keep all of your assignments, maybe a calendar for your due dates, what papers are due, when to turn them in, and a place to take notes when you're in class so that you can go back and study them later for a test. So a planner with separate folders is a great tool to have if you haven't thought of it. And remember, if you have questions, ask for help, okay? It's okay to ask for help. And it's important that you advocate for yourself because your teacher may not offer help unless you ask. The next step is time management, okay? You're going to have a busy schedule, more busy than it's ever been. You're going to have several classes to go to, and there will be this thing called a bell schedule with passing time. And that passing time is very short. And you may have to carry the materials for different classes with you going from class to class because you won't have enough time to go back to your locker each time. So you might have to carry 2 classes or 3 classes worth of material so that you can get to your class on time. So just take a deep breath. I know it can be overwhelming. You will figure it out and you'll create a system that will work best for you. Study habits. Okay, I can't tell you enough about how important this is. This is an area when I was in school I wish someone would have talked to me about because I really struggled with having good study habits. So I want to give you a couple of tips. First, be organized. Use a planner, okay? And when you study to learn. So set a time each day to spend some time studying, okay? And it doesn't have to be a huge amount of time. It might be 30 minutes, but 30 minutes a day that you're going to dedicate to focusing on studying maybe for that one class or that one test, okay? If you cram for a test right before it happens, you might do okay on the test. That's what I tended to do, okay? The problem with that is that the information that you crammed doesn't always stay with you, okay, and you lose it. But if you're intentional about studying before that test, say a week ahead of the test, that information will last and stay with you. So I encourage you to plan a dedicated study time that you can count on. This is my study time. It's from this time to this time, and you don't get interrupted. Your family knows when this is your study time. Also, it's really important to find out how best you learn and how best you learn to study, okay? So some of us like to have background music in the background, okay? And maybe music that doesn't have words, so instrumental music. That helps us stay calm and stay focused. Some of us have to have silence, okay? Some of us need to work at an official place like a desk or a table. Others, it doesn't matter so much. Some of us like to be inside when we study. Some of us like to be outside if the weather's nice, okay? You might use flashcards. Flashcards are a great tool to learn information, okay? And you can put information on both sides, okay? Books are a great resource. You might have books and you might highlight in books to study. A video might be helpful. Depends on what kind of a learner you are. If you're a visual learner, you need to see things. If you're an auditory learner, you need to hear things. If you're a tactile learner, you need to touch things and do things, like especially like with experiments, like in chemistry, okay? Or you might be a combination of those three. So finding a way that helps you best, okay? So next is developing habits and routines. So set aside that study time each day, okay, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and keep it consistent. Like, this is my routine. This is when I study math. This is when I study language arts. This is when I study history, okay? And then the last thing is, maybe you want to find a study buddy, like someone that's in the same class as you that you can study with. It helps because there are things that we always miss when we're by ourselves. But if we have friends with us that we can talk about things with, we'll learn better, okay? So think about a study buddy as another option. Next, I have coping skills, okay? So right now you have a friend group, and they've been at Duncan with you, maybe the whole time you've been here at Duncan. Next year, that'll be different. Your friend groups will change. You may have a couple of friends from Duncan in your classes, or you may not. It really will be undecided until you get there. So you're going to make some new friends. Now, some of you feel like, hey, that's awesome. I love making new friends. Others of you might be a little worried or nervous, like, will people like me? Will they think I'm cool? Okay, it's okay to feel those feelings, okay? But I want to encourage you to have a set of strategies. We've talked about this before, and your teachers have talked about it with mindfulness. Have a set of strategies to help yourself calm down when you're feeling stress. I've given you 10 here, just off the top of my head. So deep breathing, of course, we've always talked about deep breathing. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Exercise is a great way to relieve stress. Maybe you play a sport, or you ride a bike, or you do yoga. That's a great way to get that stress out. Listening to music can also help calm us down. It's been documented that getting outside helps. Going for a walk, going for a hike, riding a bike. Maybe you're a runner. Maybe you'd like to run, okay? Getting outside has been proven to really help all of us reduce stress and improve our mental health. Art is something that some of you do, and that can be really stress reducing, okay? Playing a musical instrument. You might choose next year to join the band or the orchestra, or maybe you're already playing an instrument. You have that option, and it will be a fun option and also a way to relieve stress. Talking to a friend or a family member is a great choice. In fact, I encourage you to think of at least 3 adults, and I've done this before with you, 3 adults that you could go to when you're facing a stressful situation or a problem, so that you know you can get some good advice about how to handle that. Playing a game. A lot of people like to play games. Some video, some board games, okay? Playing a game is a nice way to relieve stress, okay? Reading books. Some of you love to read, and you've got authors that you love to read. Reading is a great getaway to relieve stress. And the last one, thinking about developing a hobby, okay? You're at that point where you're going to start to think about, what do I want to do in my free time? Okay? Some of you might want to work with your hands and build things, maybe out of wood or metal, okay? That's something that I do. I build out of wood. I love to work with wood. Some of you might do ceramics, like you make things out of clay. That's a great choice, okay? But think about a hobby. A hobby can be a way to decrease stress. Maybe you want to collect things. I have a friend who collects bottle caps, okay? And he's collected them since he was a little kid. And I don't know, he's got like 1 million of them. Think about a hobby as a way to decrease stress. You're going to have lots of opportunities to participate in things like sports or clubs or even dances next year. I encourage you to be involved. Being involved in those activities will help you feel more comfortable at school. All right, reflection. So I want to tell you to take some time to reflect on what you've achieved here at Duncan, okay? Some of you, setting goals is like second nature. You set goals and you achieve them. Others, it's hard. It's hard to think about, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? Where do I want to be? Okay? What problems do I want to solve? So I encourage you to take some time and think about what goals you want to achieve just in 6th grade. Just that small step, okay? Maybe you want to go out for a sport. Maybe you want to try an instrument. Set a goal and see where it leads you, okay? And at the end of the year, chart that goal. Like, okay, did I achieve that goal? Maybe you have a life goal. Like, you already know, I want to be a helicopter pilot, okay, for instance. Then you know you need to be really good at math, and you need to understand physics, okay, so science. So you might be really focused on, okay, these are the classes that I'm going to take in order to get to that goal, okay? It's important for us to have goals. They give us direction, and they give us a compass to follow when we're stressed, okay? And then we can remind ourselves. You could put those goals inside that planner that I talked about earlier, okay? And I don't want you to be afraid of failure. We've talked about this before. Failure is just another opportunity to try something again, okay? That's how we learn. Don't be hard on yourself. Realize not all of us can do things perfectly the first time. Take several attempts. And even after we think we've mastered something, someone else might come along and say, "Did you think about doing it this way?" And you're like, whoa, no, I didn't think of it that way. And man, that's going to be so much easier, so much better. So don't be afraid to fail. It's okay, okay? Now, you're going to go through some physical changes as well, okay? Your body's going to change. In fact, you're going to go through a growth spurt that's the biggest growth spurt you've ever had since you were a baby, okay? So your bodies are going to grow, they're going to change, and your emotions are going to change. And there are going to be times when you're going to feel out of control and overwhelmed. Take a breath. It's okay. Changes are natural, and everyone is going through them, okay? And if you're feeling out of control and overwhelmed, I encourage you to go to one of those adults that I had to reflect on earlier. Go to one of those adults and talk with them about it. Get some help, okay? You don't have to face it alone. Maybe you want to come back here to Duncan and talk to that teacher that you really loved. Or maybe you want to come talk to me or Mrs. Buchanan or one of the other adults in the building, okay? We're all here for you, and we want you to be successful. So we would totally be open for you coming back and visiting. Now I've got another video here for you to look at. It's about other middle school students talking about the fears they had and their faves. Take a look at this.
When I came into middle school, I had some really good friends in elementary school, but I was super scared I wasn't gonna see them at all, or my locker wasn't gonna open, or even how to, and how am I gonna handle all the teachers.
I was afraid of the middle school drama and all that stuff, but it's really easy to stay out of if you just choose your friends wisely.
You know, not all my friends from elementary school were going to the same middle school as me. That was probably my biggest fear.
My biggest fear was probably the lunch table. I was so scared at lunch because I thought I wouldn't know anybody.
The homework.
Lots of homework and not knowing where to go.
Definitely getting to my classrooms on time because it's a big school.
For me, it was probably figuring out if I could open my locker on the first day of school.
I was definitely first scared of the lockers.
When I came in, lockers are pretty easy.
You definitely get the hang of things after a few days or so.
It just took me a week to kind of catch the hang of it, and I wasn't really scared of it anymore.
It's different in a good way.
Well, for starters, there's 6 classes instead of just 1.
The whole transition of a new school, I never really moved schools, so for me it was just the different teachers, different faces, and just seeing a lot of new people.
You'll have a lot more stuff, which is kind of hard, and walking actually through the hallway.
The biggest difference for me was the size. Hutton, where I went to elementary school, was actually a very, very small school.
In middle school, there's nachos, pizza, and all these different lines. There's the lunch special, so you could have a different variety of food.
I think the biggest difference is that you have more responsibility. Your teachers expect more from you and your parents.
The day flies by a lot faster.
First day is so crazy, but then it just gets easier after you repeat the steps.
My teachers would want me to stay learning, but honestly just hanging out and coming here and chilling.
Oh, let me think about this. The best part is sports that are involved with middle school, because I remember in elementary school there's cross country, but that was once a year, and then there's 4 different sports you can get involved in if you want to.
I'd probably have to say the best part would be the electives. The electives are schoolwork, but it's fun schoolwork.
Well, there's more freedom, I would say, in a way, socially, and you meet so many more friends.
That's what I really like. You're very independent, but at the same time you still have teachers helping you and teaching you.
I like all of it, I guess. Just the new friends that you can make, new teachers, new learning experiences. It's really fun.
I'd tell my 6th grade self 2 things. 1, to get better hair gel because it wasn't sticking up very well. And then 2 is mainly just to kind of like, don't doubt yourself, it's gonna be okay, just try really hard.
Take a chill pill, like it's really not that bad. I was so nervous the night before, and then when I got there, like the teachers, they're so nice, like, and be like, oh, can you help me with this? 8th graders, they're not scary, they're not mean, they'll help you if you need help.
I never really thought about this. I'd probably just tell myself to keep pushing on, don't give up, don't slack.
To not worry about it, really, because it's not as hard as you think, and to just do your best and be yourself.
Be yourself and like have fun and use middle school to like learn lots and don't like waste the school day.
Do your homework. So try to finish your homework at school.
Not to worry about getting lost in because it's pretty easy maneuvering around the school.
It's okay not to know if you don't know where your classes are, or worrying that you might not have a lot of friends, because before you know it, you'll just have a whole group of friends.
There's just a lot of new kids, so you're gonna have to try to like talk to them. I just started talking to kids, and now like everybody knows me.
I would say don't be scared to try new things because sometimes new things are better for you.
Just try hard, be nice to people, and you're gonna be successful.
Okay. So, after all this, I just hope that you guys are feeling more confident and secure about moving forward and excited, okay? This last reference page is just really a definition of all the different areas that I've talked about, and I've given you some sources for those videos, okay? Again, I just encourage you to enjoy this next step, this next adventure that you're going to go on. Have fun. Don't be hard on yourself. And remember, you've got people that are behind you. All of us at Duncan care about you, and we look forward to hearing about all the things that you're going to do. I hope you have a wonderful summer and a wonderful 6th grade, and I'll see you later.